Thank you, Chairwoman Velasquez, to Ranking Member Shabbat, and to my colleague, Mr. Roy from Texas, who spent a lot of time in the political foxhole with me from the very beginning of this initiative, and to all who have helped get the Paycheck Protection Program Flexibility Act to the floor. But I want to spend my time today letting my constituents speak for themselves. For more than 43 years, Minnesotans have celebrated birthdays and Little League wins over burgers and cheese curds at Lion's Tap, a family-owned restaurant in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, until COVID-19 changed everything. My team spoke with Bert, owner of Lion's Tap, and when we asked for feedback about his experience with the payroll protection program, he said this: "We definitely need the PPP," he said. "The problem is that because our business is a restaurant, we are not able to open it up fully, where we could hire our entire staff back under the conditions of the loan. It's imperative that we're allowed forgiveness for expenses beyond the original 8-week period. We also need to loosen up the restrictions of non-payroll expenses beyond 25%. The complexities of balancing staying open or closing will be determined by what the government is able to change on the PPP via this bill." And Bert is not alone. On a Zoom call last month, the barber who rents a chair in a Brooklyn Park barber salon told me exactly the same thing. I talked with Mike, who owns a few hotels in Minnesota and is being forced to make lose-lose decisions about how to pay his employees and his mortgage while their rooms sit empty. And Mike said this: "The government stepped in with the Paycheck Protection Program, but it was a one-size-fits-all approach that didn't really help industries like hospitality. We could pay our employees, but not our mortgages. The Paycheck Protection Flexibility Act will do for small businesses what the PPP could not." John from Maple Grove, who owns a handful of beloved wood-fired pizza joints in Minnesota, is also feeling the heat from the crisis. He told me that, quote, "We are very appreciative of the PPP loan we received, but would have no way to qualify for any material forgiveness given the impossibility of rehiring our entire workforce while our stores are closed. If the loan is not forgiven, we do not foresee that our business can return to any meaningful positive cash flow until a vaccine is developed or the virus impact weakens, and we could likely not have funds to repay any loan principal even at that time." And Justin, who has a small gym in Chanhassen, Minnesota, and Ryan, who owns Frenchie's Nail Salon, are reporting the exact same problems. The outpouring of feedback has been clear, as it has been enormous. You see, my colleagues, today is not about us. It's about which side secures the biggest win or who gets the credit. It's about delivering the relief that small business owners across Minnesota and this nation are asking for. It's about doing our job. At its core, representation begins with listening, and these stories paint a very clear picture. Our small business owners, the institutions of our main streets, and the glue of our communities are asking us to take action, to solve problems, and to engage in some good, old-fashioned teamwork. I'm grateful to my colleague, Mr. Chip Roy from Texas, for joining me in that very spirit as co-author of this bill, and to the growing coalition of support that we've built around the Paycheck Protection Flexibility Act. This bill will help people in the ways that they need, and we have not a moment to lose. And if you don't want to take my word for it, just listen to the millions of our country's shopkeepers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and small business owners all around the country. Or listen to our 11 million restaurant employees. Or just take it from Bert, the owner of Lion's Tap, who said, "The heartbeat of America is small business, and we need your help to survive." Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to commend and thank the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Roy, and the gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Phillips, for working together in a bipartisan manner on this legislation. I'd like to yield 3 minutes to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Roy.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the chairman, I thank the chairwoman, and I thank the ranking member. And I really want to give a strong statement of support and thanks to my colleague, Dean Phillips, for the way in which our offices have worked together and in which he and I have worked together on this. I have nothing but positive things to say about him, and I look forward to working on other measures to, frankly, get this body back to the work of the American people.